Welcome back to Small Photobook Cult, a podcast about photobooks. I'm Gabriele Chiapparini. Please like our video if you like them and support us subscribing to our channel to be updated about future exciting videos. Today we are stepping into the quiet, reflective world of being here. Through deeply personal black and white images, this project invites us to pause and explore themes of presence, memory, connection, and more in general life. Get ready to experience a visual journey that is both intimate and universal profound. Welcome to this new episode of Small Photobook Cult. We are here in the company of the photographer Oyvind Hjelmen.
Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it is. When I received your book, I was really surprised because I saw the PDF and I saw that it's a really specific kind of design, and I'm really curious to speak about it.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak about it.
So we can start speaking about the project if you want.
The project is it's a little bit hard to know where to start because maybe I should start with a couple of my previous projects. With the way I've been working on them. Like I did a trilogy of books, Elsewhere, Moments Reflected, and Broken Shadow, between 2010 and 2022. And there I have been working for years, just collecting images and building up a portfolio of images. As I've been working, you add one and you take one out and like that. And maybe it's taken 5 to 7 years to build up a portfolio that you feel is ready for exhibition or publishing. So you have plenty time to refine it and all that. Now with being here, it's quite different because I had my second to last book, or the middle book of the trilogy, was published by Russell Joslin of Skeleton Key Press. And we spoke about whether we should do another book together. And he says, well, if we're going to do another book, it should be very different from the 3 that you've just done. And I was completely in agreement with that.
Can I ask you why?
Why what?
Why you both feel this need to have something really different?
Well, because the previous books, especially the last 2, Moments Reflected and Broken Shadow, they were very much continuing in a similar way. And I feel you could possibly take some of the images from one book and put into the other, and you wouldn't really notice. So just to do more of what wouldn't be the same, but what would be very similar. I'm not sure if that would be a good idea. And I did actually release 3 books within 4 years, 2020, 22, and 24. And especially with them coming so close together, it would be important to not just do the same again, but doing something different. So we were very much in agreement on that. So I suggested to him, well, what about if we do a book with small prints? And he said, that's an interesting idea. And then I need to talk a little bit about my small prints, because I have been working, normally my exhibition prints for the 2 previous projects are 40 by 40 centimeters. They're not huge, but they're not tiny. Over 20 years ago, a bit over more than 20 years ago, I was given a book of Andrei Katesh, The Early Years. It was a very small book. I was so surprised looking at the images inside because they were maybe 3 by 4 centimeters, 4 by 5 centimeters. And looking at these images and realizing that you could actually see so much detail on such a small print. That was so fascinating. And I love this book. I still really love it. Of course, his work is absolutely beautiful and fascinating. And the presentation there is so great. So that kind of inspired me when I was in Madrid years later. And I found this tiny little box that used to contain some pastels of some sort. It was 2.5 by 2.5 centimeters big. And I thought, that's perfect for small prints. So I started making a series called The Small Print. and where the prints are actually 2.5 by 2.5 centimeters. And realizing that it did actually work in that size. So I've been doing a few series like that, and I've been making little boxes for them to go now, little wooden boxes for them to go in. And I love tinkering on with little things like that. So this is kind of what I had in mind when I was mentioning to Russell that should we do some small prints. And then we thought about it for a while, and then we both agreed very quickly that it's not enough to do a book with small prints. It's got to be some substance to it. There's got to be a story. There's got to be many stories. There's got to be quality to it, and it's got to, be a coherence. It's got to make sense. And then immediately, from just saying, hey, let's put some small prints together, you got to start working on really doing something that can make sense in a book. So starting out with what I had of small prints and going through my files, finding, interestingly enough, suddenly there were images that I had rejected years ago. Now they make sense. Now they work in this context. So there was a start, and I spent 1 year putting together this book compared to 5 to 7 years on the other ones. Not just because I had everything and it was just a matter of putting it together. It was really challenging and really rewarding because very soon I found myself in a position where I actually had to make new photographs to fit the story, to fit the book, rather than just working like I normally do. I won't say randomly, but at least just finding things and collecting things. I now had to look for something that would work. And of course, you don't get a good result without any challenges. And I feel the challenges were big enough, and the result ended up very good. I feel, if I should say that myself, I'm very happy with it. And of course, most of that is thanks to Russell Jocelyn, who is a wonderful guy to work with. I can spar with him in a way. How about this? No, it doesn't work. But how about now? It doesn't work. But what if you try something like this? And it's his design for the book also works so extremely well. So I feel this really came together in a very good way. But there were, of course, frustrations and challenges along the way.
We can start going through the book if you want, while we keep speaking. And you said that you needed sometimes to find some specific pictures to fill the story.
Yeah.
So what is being here about?
Yeah. What is the story?
Yes.
The thing is that most my works, and it's been like that for years and years, my main interest when it comes to using photography to talk about something, it's about life, who we are, who were we as children, and who did we become as adults because of who we were as children. Our lives is based on childhood and youth. That is, as we see so many times, that is so decisive in who we become as adults. Do we end up heroes or villains? Are we good people? Are we bad people? Do we have a good life? Do we have a terrible life? And our childhood is so important in all this. And also, as adults, what are our dreams? What are our nightmares and fears? And basically, it is about life. So when it comes to being here, it's, for me, the fascinating thing that one part of it is how we seem to want to leave a mark. I was here, whether we spray it on a wall or we make a sculpture or we take a photograph to leave, just to say, hey, for the future, I was here. The other part of it, which I feel is even more important, is the notion of actually being here, not just existing, but being present while we're here. And it is easy to say, and it's not always easy to do. So they are the main two reasons why the title. I spent a long time finding the title, and I had a lot of expressions that I was trying and testing. And again, I was testing them with Russell, and he says, no, that doesn't work. And I'll try in another one. Yeah, no, I see what you want to go, but no, it doesn't work. And eventually I ended up with Being Here, and we both agreed that would be very suitable, and I'm very happy with it. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's something that it's true that it's something that it's really easy to say, but it's not easy to do.
Yeah, and I think I was very, very happy also. There is one text in the book, which is a poem by Jon Fosse. Jon Fosse, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2023. I was actually sitting with all my thoughts that I had been writing down when searching for a title. I wrote a lot of words, expressions, thoughts, and then I put quite a few of them into Google, and I pressed the button, and up came this poem by Jon Fosse. And I read it, and I was thinking, this is perfect. So just the fact, the first two lines, a human being is here, and then disappears. I mean, that sums it basically up. But his poem in general is so beautiful and so powerful. And so I wrote to him and asked, would you let me use the poem in my book? And he said yes, fortunately. So I'm very, very happy with that.
Yeah, it fits really well with what you said.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's the only text in the book.
Yes, because I don't want to explain things, and I don't want somebody to analyze what's there. I want in this book just the viewer to go on their own journey into this book, into these images, into their own life, perhaps. That sounds a bit asking a lot, but at least visit these images.
I think what happened, like at least what happened to me, that it's quite weird because if you have big pictures, you think you can like watch it taking some times because you have a lot of details to see, and but with this specific design, choosing to have these small pictures in the end took me more time to watch the book, because it forced you to slow a lot, like to slow down a lot.
Yeah,
because
it was actually an interesting experience I had 25 years ago. I think I was going to be part of a collective exhibition at the local gallery, and I had made some small pictures then. They were more panoramic and not as small as these. And I had 3 of them, and when I came for the vernissage, there was a lot of people, but I couldn't see my pictures. So I asked the gallerist, says, where are my pictures? She says, oh, they're over there on that wall. So I went over there and I looked, and she had put them quite low. They were like 1 meter up from the floor. So I went over to her and said, but they're hanging a bit low, aren't they? And she said, just wait and see. And as I was watching, people were going over, they were bending down, moving close, like 20 centimeters from the prints, and really having a good look. And I was thinking, yeah, that's it. That works. Yeah. So that's the same. You're being kind of forced to not just leaf through a book quickly. If you want anything from this, you have to work for it, basically.
Yeah, it was a good idea, I think. Also because I can imagine people, I don't know, sitting on the floor for watch it.
Yeah.
It's a book that forces you to take some time and to open a page, a spread, and you cannot just flip to the other one. You need to stop 1 second and to try to like get closer and try to understand what you are looking. What was you looking for when, like, in the process of making these pictures?
Well, when in the process of making the pictures, it is a bit, again, like I work so much on feel rather than more heart than brain, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
because, as I say, when people are asking me why are not all your pictures sharp and why are they not in color and all that, and I say, well, I'm not that interested in what things look like. I'm more interested in how they feel like, what they feel like. And it's a similar thing. When do you know when a project is finished? It's not when I got the right number or the enough sharp pictures. It's when it feels right. And so what I'm looking for when I'm photographing is for when it feels right. And it's not always easy to define, well, does it have to feel right compared to, does it have to feel right in connection with a particular story, or does it have to feel right in connection with an audience and the audience you're working for? I never work for the audience. I work for the pictures, for the images themselves. Does it have to fit into a gallery, a special gallery or something? It's for me, it's just important that it feels right. And I mean, if somebody was telling me that to my question, I would say, come on, give me some facts here, not just feelings. I'm afraid that's a bit how it is. When it feels right, it is right for me.
Yeah, there are a lot of, let's say, like everyday moments in these pictures.
Yeah.
And also a lot of frames. You have here, you have some frames.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Then, this is not exactly a frame, but it is in some way. And then you have, once again, here you are looking like through windows, and again,
sure.
Here again, again.
The frames, I think, is more accidental that they are there. It's not a conscious choice from my part to include frames like that. It's just that if I feel the image works, then it works. But when it comes to there's a lot of everyday life. Well, that's because it's the everydays that we live. You know, that is our life. So that kind of is the point of the book, the story of being here.
When we speak about like topic like this one, being here, it's really, I think it's really easy in a life to remember that moment that were special, like I don't know, when you graduate, when you publish your first book, or when you get married, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's quite far from that concept. That is to try to understand that, like I can see it in this spread, for example. Is this an egg?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know, a kind of breakfast.
It's a breakfast egg, yeah.
And this seems, I don't know, maybe a dinner, or I don't know, like a moment sitting on a table. It's just a normal moment, standard moment of a life. And sometimes it happens to me, especially when I was a kid. I remember I was in bed, not able to sleeping. I don't know why. And I was thinking, I will remember this moment. I force myself to try to think, okay, I'm here, I'm in my parents' house, and this moment is going to disappear in 1 second. It's just disappear, like it's disappearing each seconds. But I want to remember this feeling to be here in the home with my parents still alive, both. And I was trying to think how to do it, like how can I will remember moments like this that are just random moment in a life.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I can see a bit of this attempt in this work.
But that is great, because that is what I'm sort of aiming to do. Is to I said it some maybe bit pretentious. Wrote a sentence many years ago where I say, I'm showing you myself so that you can see yourself. But I'm trying to show you some memories, real or imagined, that maybe can trigger your memories, real or imagined. You know, it's so that is exactly what I'm looking for.
What would you like the viewers of this work to feel? It's a weird question, I know, because it's out of your control. But if you can push the viewer to feel something specific, or what you hope.
I would never want to push a viewer to feel something specific, but I can tell you two stories from a couple of exhibitions experiences that I've had. One where I was two ladies were looking at this old, and it's an image of an old Volvo in a field. And then we're talking early 60s Volvo from the back. And it's in a field with a forest next to it. And these two ladies are discussing this image, and one of them saying, "Oh, it's I can see what's happening here in that car and the two lovers and all that." And the other one saying, "No, no, 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 no. They have left the car and they're now in the forest, and one is they're going into the darkness there." And I mean, this story, the imagination, their feelings of it. And I was thinking, this is so fantastic. And I had another image from the I think that's from the Moments Reflected series, where there's an island, specifically triangular island in a dark sea, and it's a fairly dark image. And you have some of the waves on an otherwise tranquil sea, some of the waves coming towards you at the edge of the image. And this lady comes over to me at the vernissage and she says, "Excuse me, but how are you doing that with the waves?" I'm saying, "Oh, sorry, I don't know. Please come and have a look." So I went over and we looked at it. And she's saying, "The waves, how do you make them move?" And I'm saying, "Well, I don't make the waves move. It's in the sea." No, but in the image, they're moving. So she could actually see the waves moving. And again, I think it's so wonderful to when people have their own experience. And if there are moments like that, that's all I can ask for.
Is it not this one, right?
No, it's not in this book.
Okay. It's a pity. It's a pity that we cannot see it. I'm thinking maybe the fact also that the pictures are so small, you have more space to fill the picture with yourself.
It's a good way of putting it, yeah.
Because, like, let's take this one for example. You have a general context of what we are seeing now. Nothing else. You don't have you cannot spend your time to watch the details of the pictures because it's impossible to see. So probably you can start to fill the pictures with your past or with your imagination, because it's also probably what the human beings does mainly.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you chose a good one to fill with your presence.
And I think it happens in a lot of pictures. Also in this studio that we were speaking before, you have a context, a general context, and if you get closer, you can have more details, but there is a limit because there is this fact of the frame that is so small.
Right.
I want to ask you about the cover and about this first, the only big image that you have in the book, that is this one.
Yeah, that is it's a part of one of the images in the book, where it's quite small. I think it's about 7 by 7 centimeters.
Yeah, I saw it before somewhere.
Yeah, there, yes. Where you see you have the black line of the sea at the bottom, and you have the whole square image of the sky with a white cloud in the middle. And the idea of using that on the end papers was again Russell Jocelyn's, and I think it was a very nice design detail. Instead of just a grey or white or black end papers, it invites you in, and at the same time it gives you that there is kind of that element of surprise between that big image, and then you turn the next page and you're on the small ones. So I think that works very well. That idea of his there, yeah.
And why do you think he decided, or you both decide to use this specific one, this specific picture?
Well, it's I can't see so many of the others that would work in a similar way, because this is a sky, this is the clouds. If you had a person there, or if you had a cityscape or a building or something like that, it wouldn't be as open. This one is very open. And if it's one thing that is important to me when it comes to whether it's a single image or it's a series, or it's a book, or an exhibition, or whatever, is to make sure that it's open enough to allow for other people's thoughts and interpretations. And so I that's why there are I never have any specific titles on my images. They are just like in this case, being here, number 1, 2, 3, and so on. So it's the fact that this image is so open that you can fill it with anything. You can follow it by anything. So yeah, that's why I feel that really works.
Yeah, I understand. Some other like can be too specific probably.
Yeah.
And what about the image in the cover?
Yeah.
That we have also here somewhere, right?
Yes, it's also inside the book.
Yes, here.
Yeah. Yes, it is one of those, and this is an image I can talk a bit about. I can even tell the story behind it, hoping not to ruin the experience for everybody. Because once you tell the story behind an image, it will never be magical again. But this was a very simple thing, because when I drive around for doing assignments or whatever, I try to remember to bring my camera. And so I was driving, and there was suddenly a lot of fog. And I thought, well, I can always catch a picture here or there when on my way back. And then I thought, no, you don't. You know very well that the fog's going to lift before you're on your way back. So I just pulled over in this place by this small lake, and there was a woman. This was in October, I think. So it was fairly cool. And there was this woman undressing, getting ready to go into the water. And I was saying hi and kind of good luck. And I walked past and took some pictures. And then she was starting slowly to walk into the water. And I said, is it okay if I take some pictures of you? And she says, yeah, I guess so. And I said, well, you need to go a little further out. And she walked a little bit, and I said, no, you need to go further. And a little further more. And she says, what are you going to use this picture for? So I said, I'll show you when you come back in. And she said, okay, well, now you're forcing me out, so I better do it. And it turned out this was the first time she was going swimming in the cold water. And she said, well, now I had to do it. So thank you for that. And I gave her my card, and I said, get in touch, and I'll show you the picture if it comes out. The image that I saw on my negative later looked very promising, and especially now I use an old camera, very simple camera called Harmony. It's Japanese from the 1950s. So it's a very simple camera, and it does sometimes let in the light here and there, as you can see in this one. And the light leak on this negative was for me just perfect, because it gives like a ray of light either coming down or going up. And because the way she's standing and into the gray nothingness, and with the rings of the water moving out, it's a very, very classic image in a way. If you can go back to all the big masters, and you'll find a lot of this composition. So for me, it is very much an image of being here, and you can fill that one. I feel I can fill it with as many thoughts and interpretations as I want. So I hope it's still, even after me explaining this, I hope it still remains enigmatic enough and open enough to still be filled with other people's thoughts.
I don't know. This is something that I think about quite a lot, because I understand you, and I agree also the fact that if you explain too much, you can keep out a bit of magic in some pictures. But in some other, now that I know this story, I think it's going to stick with me, and all the time that I will watch this picture, I will feel that moment strongly.
That's good. Good. Yeah, no, and also interestingly enough, she never got in touch with me, so I didn't know who she is. because I didn't get her card or name or address or anything. But because I assumed if she was interested, she would get in touch with me. And this was in October, and by May, I was starting to think this image is really something that I want to use in the book. And come June, we were really in a place where this would probably be the cover. And I posted it on Instagram, and suddenly, not knowing if she would see it or if she would like it. If she hated it, I would be in deep trouble, because now I really wanted it for the cover. And suddenly there's one comment then, hey, I post for this image and it's so great. I'm so happy it looks good. And I was so relieved, so I was able to contact her and say, great, because it's now going to be on the cover of the book. So fortunately she was happy with it.
And I also have to say that it was really I admired the fact that Russell and Skeleton Books, you both decide to have this kind of book, because it's really like the people normally try to do exactly the opposite, to have big pictures in the book, and it's really an act of coraggio, of it was brave to decide this direction for the book.
Yeah, it was a very interesting thing to do, and again, with Russell's brilliant design, I feel it really, really works. So I'm very happy with that, and the feedback has been very, very good as well. Of course, some people are complaining, why is there not a loop? Because the pictures are so small. But I mean, put on a pair of reading glasses and take your time.
Yeah. I want to ask you...
And if you don't, you're not interested, and that's fine too.
Of course.
Everything is not for everybody, and we just have to accept that.
I want to ask you about the fact that you decide to publish a really small amount of book, and also you decide to number the book by hand.
Yeah.
Why?
My first book on the first in the trilogy that I mentioned, Elsewhere, was published by Kera in Germany, and there was no I can't remember how much they printed, maybe 1,000 or something. The second one with Russell, Moments Reflected, we went for 350 copies, and it's a way to, well, you want to limit it because it makes it kind of special when it's numbered and signed. It makes it a special object, and the fact that it's limited makes it more special than if you know there are a couple of thousand of these out there. I know myself, I really value books that are more special, like artist books of maybe 100 or something. So I quite like that. And also, to go back to that one, Moments Reflected, it's now sold out completely. I think I have maybe 8 or 10 copies that I'm holding on to for now, because I'm thinking of selling them with a print. But that's all there is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite good to be sold out, actually.
Yeah.
So my next one, Broken Shadow, again with Kera in 2022. It sold quite well, but again printed 700, 800 copies, I think, and I don't think there's many left of those. But still, when we went back to this book with Skeleton Key Press, we again decided to do it a limited one. And again, I feel that works. I don't have many of them left. I'm not sure how much the publishers got, but I mean, it's been out for, what is it, a year or something? No, it came out in November last year, actually. So it's only been out like 8 months, and it's been, I think it's been going quite well. So yeah, and of course, should it go really well, it's always possible to make another printing.
Yeah, of course.
If the publisher should decide.
Are you a collector?
I do collect photographs. I have quite a lot. I am in the fortunate position where I've been meeting wonderful photographers all over the world for many years, and sometimes you have this dialogue and you can exchange a print. And so I have photographs all over my house and in filing cabinets, and it's wonderful. I don't have any of my own photographs on my walls. I have everybody else's, and I love it.
Yeah, me too.
And I have when I find interesting books, I like to have those as well. So, but I mean, it's always a matter of what can you afford to do, and sometimes you cannot. So, but I collect, but I'm not a big collector. Put it that way. There's definitely people who collect more than me.
Is there a specific kind of music that you suggest us to listen watching this book?
I think if you want to have music on, put on some of your favorite music. It's not. It may not be the music for or the book for the most heavy punk or rock, but put on some of your favorite music. That's what I would recommend. Or watch it in silence, which for me is what I often do. Just immerse myself into the images and not even have music on.
Yeah, the silence is always an option.
Yeah.
And do you learn something doing this specific project that can help other young photographers to do a better job? Do you have an advice?
I think I don't know if it's so specific to this book, but in general, I would say it's important to work. I can say this is also quite a few years ago, maybe, like 15 years ago or something. I was complaining to Michael Ackerman that I didn't feel I was getting anywhere. Felt very stuck. And in his unique way, he just looks at me and says, maybe you're not working enough. And that's really stuck with me since. So work is nothing happens unless you work. And also, I would say to take advice from people that you trust will have your best interest at heart. That's important. I only have a couple of people that I actually show my work to when I'm very much in doubt. Apart from that, I would show my work to anyone who's interested, because you never know who's watching over their shoulder. So I'm not worried about showing my work, but when I'm in doubt, I have a very only a couple of people I would show them to, because I really value their feedback.
Yeah.
So yeah, and be good to people. I mean, be good to people. It's
and
kindness will get you a long way.
And the very last question is: can you suggest us a book to have in one of the future episodes?
Well, yes, this is kind of selfish in a way, but because I would suggest a book that is very new. It is from the same publisher as mine, Skeleton Press, and it's a fellow Norwegian artist, Anja Niemi. The book is just out, and it's called A Naturalist Guide to Magic. And just the title makes me want to hear what it's about, and the images certainly makes me want to hear what this is about. And I thought that would be wonderful for me to hear, and I think it could be a very interesting project to know more about.
Yeah, I agree, and I just I contact Skeleton and also her for doing it, and yeah, we will see. I'm really curious to listen about that, so I will try again, and we will see what happens.
Yes, very good.
So thanks so much. It was really beautiful.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And so see you in Arles, and I hope you all that listen to this episode that you like it, and thank you so much, and bye bye from me and to Oyvind.
Thank you.
And yeah,
see you
in the next episode, also probably in the future with another book from you.
Let's hope so.
Okay, bye bye to everybody.
Bye.